The only thing I was going to bring up to talk about, I feel like you wouldn't either want to talk about or maybe not even know much about it, but it was just going to be like the Conor McGregor, like watching the UFC fights the other day. I don't even know if you know.
I got hit with a still image of his broken leg,
right?
And like I think we talked about. I can't stand that shit,
right? I could argue that's the worst way to consume that information. Like, you didn't even get to watch the fight. You weren't even, it sounds like a part of a conversation.
I heard it in conversation first.
Okay.
And I was like,
just seeing a still picture of his leg snapped in half, essentially.
Yeah. Fuck, I hate that. He says he's supposed to make a recovery in like a month or something, right?
My understanding, not being a medical professional, is as gross as those injuries are, there's something like because they're clean breaks that like you do come back from them. I don't know about quickly, but like you do come back from them. It's just horrifying to watch. I was watching it live, and so I didn't really understand what happened live. Like, I saw him go down, and I was like, wait, did he just get knocked out at the end of the round? That was kind of quick, and then the round ended. He wasn't getting up, and everyone was like, "What's going on? What's going on?" So then they slowed it down and like zoomed in. So we were all like looking at the TV, like, "Yeah, what happened? What happened? Oh my god, fuck, god damn it! Yeah. Why'd you do that to me?"
Yeah,
so that was bad.
I have that's the one, like I don't get I don't mind like most things like violent impact, blood. The closest one is like seeing a pitcher get hit in the head. Is tough to watch. But there's nothing does it for me like just a nasty broken bone or dislocation.
That might be how we're the most similar in this world. Is we feel very similarly to that. It's like a lot of stuff that I feel like gross out a lot of people doesn't gross me out. The one thing I just cannot handle is those like gruesome injuries.
Yeah,
I will say I obviously as a pitcher don't like pitchers getting hit in the head, and it's tough to watch. But I would say still not anywhere close to a gruesome injury.
Yeah.
Like something like that, like a leg snapping. I know the one like Tom Segura. I don't know why I was just thinking about. Have you ever seen that one where he was like playing basketball and he fell and he like?
He snapped his arm. I saw that he was injured. I didn't know that he snapped his arm.
Yeah, so like I saw the video of that. I'm like, I can't watch that stuff.
Yeah. It's just anything I can do to avoid it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I obviously don't want it to happen to me. I'd almost rather I'm than watch somebody else.
It seems like it seems like it's almost easier on the. I think it's because of shock.
Yeah,
from what I hear, but it seems easier on the person it's happened to in the moment than the people that have to watch it, which is such an asinine thing to say.
I remember the Gordon Hayward one. I don't know if you saw that one, but
I did see that one.
I just remember him sitting up and just being like, "What the fuck?" Like it was like a very kind of almost like tame reaction because it was like he was clearly in shock of just like what is this, he was just like pointing at his leg and he was like, what, oh fuck, I don't know. So like I think that there is something to that of just like I'm sure the pain hasn't quite set in yet when that happens. I was gonna try to go more into like the aftermath of UFC. I don't know if either of us are well versed enough to talk about that. So
this was
I don't know if you saw like his like antics afterwards and like the whole thing leading up to it was like this was the trilogy. This was like a huge rivalry. This was supposed to be the deciding fight.
Is he still doing the nice guy Conor thing?
Oh no, I don't know when he was ever doing that.
I think it was right before the second one. Where he was just showing the utmost respect and like,
and then he lost,
and then he like met him like after he lost and like shook his hand and was like, it was such a pleasure to fight you. You're such an amazing fighter, and it's just like
So he did
not what we
do that
signed
at
up
all.
for.
Yeah, he did not do that at all. A lot of people I think he crossed the line because two things. One, like Dustin Poirier's point was what really pissed him off is I think there's like a code in the MMA world. You don't bring up death. Like you don't bring up killing someone. Like, and I think Conor was continuously bringing up he was going to kill Dustin Poirier. He's like, I'm going to murder him, like in there. Which like I think a lot of people felt like that was crossing the line a little bit. And then like Dustin Poirier's point was like, listen, I'm not trying to kill anyone in here. We're trying to have a good fight, and I hope at the end of it you return to your family and have a nice life afterwards. Like, so I think, and then Conor brought up his wife and like his family, and
which
like,
is usually
his family and shit like that. And
oh, well, see now, yeah, that now because I think I don't know how.
And then he
like
claimed
boxing,
that the wife, like he was gonna fuck his wife or something like
no,
that.
No, come on.
Yeah, well, he was like. He was like, well, it's kind of funny because he's sitting on the ground because he can't get up. This is after the fight. Yeah. And like they're still kind of talking shit to each other. Because what I was going to say is it's such a weird ending to a fight because it's like, okay, Dustin wins, but it's like you can't feel like that was gratifying as a fighter to win that way. It's like they were still kind of both talking shit to each other, and then Conor was like, yeah, your wife was in my DMs, like hit me up, being, you know, like after the fight. And so I think that type of stuff, I think some people were like, all right, it's a little... You don't bring up the families type of thing. But he was very much not being a nice guy. What I was going to say is I saw... There was a clip that I remember surfaced when he was fighting Khabib where it's like in the middle of the fight, there's like somebody picks up him saying... Because, you know, they had big beef. Yeah. And somebody like picks up him saying something like, hey, man, this is all... like all love, like this is all for show, or like something alluding to the fact that like this is, you know, this isn't real for him, like, you know, like this is an act type of thing. Right. And I think a lot of people have kind of picked that up, like, yeah, this whole thing he does, like he is kind of a nice guy, and he is, well, I don't know about a nice guy, but the way he really feels is he respects the fighters and, you know, he likes them and whatnot. And then this is kind of when we talk about sometimes what athletes need, mostly it seems like it's for him, like he needs to get to this level for him to go in there and fight.
Right. That's where he feels comfortable fighting.
Yeah.
I find the killing people thing interesting because I remember I forgot who it was. I'm not well versed in boxing at all. I think it was Wilder, right? Was it Devontae Wilder?
Yeah.
Had said something like he's trying to kill somebody.
Yeah.
I think he basically said like, you know, this is the only sport where I can like go out there and like kill somebody,
right?
And
it has happened,
and it has happened. So like, and I mean, to be honest, that's something I kind of respect. Like, I don't know, it sounds fucked up, but like, you know, you're like not necessarily in that. Like you want the person dead, but like just that if we're gonna fight each other, like I hope they stop it. Like you know what I mean? Like I would think that it would be like I hope I don't end up killing you, but like I'm gonna put that level of, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Conviction in what I'm doing. Like if you end up dying, you know, if he dies, he dies.
Right, and I think a lot of people would overall respect that mindset of you feeling that way,
but you're not supposed to say it.
I think there's different of like saying. I think there's my understanding of kind of like, and seeing a lot of people talk about this, like the code of fighting is, yes, that's kind of the mindset, especially in MMA where, you know, where boxing you knock a guy down, you're not allowed to do anything. Where in MMA you knock a guy down, you have to finish him. You're waiting for the ref to pull you off essentially. So it's like you're going until the ref stops it. And, you know, so the mindset is obviously if it gets there, it gets there. I understand that. I think it's different when you vocalize that you're trying to kill someone. I think that's where I think some people were like,
so here,
I'm not trying to kill you.
All right, I'll give you
if
one.
I kill you, so be it. We've agreed to that, you know. But like, I obviously hope that doesn't happen.
Right.
Whereas I think like, wait, you want him dead? Like that seems a little extreme.
It does seem extreme. Okay, so there was a great hitter at one time I was talking to, and asked him like what your approach is, and he said like I'm just trying to kill the pitcher. This was actually Oscar Taveras, may he rest in peace. And I remember, like, I mean, I don't think it was a literal thing. I think it was like, you know, send the ball back where it comes from, stay up the middle, you know. all the good things that come from that. But I'm just like, I always thought after that, like if that guy were to hit a comebacker, you know, and hit a guy, it's like he was trying to do that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I always felt that was wild. And I don't know if that would, like, freak you out as a pitcher, like, if you knew that, like, yeah, basically, like, if I don't know, if you talk to somebody, say at, like, the All-Star game just happened, and they were like, yeah, my approach is I'm basically trying to hit the ball off the pitcher's head. And then you saw him like whiz one by the pitcher's head. Would you feel kind of fucked up about that, or would you be like, that's, you know, he's doing what he's trying to do?
Yeah, I mean, that was a tough one because I would argue a great hitter's approach would be staying up the middle if you can. Yeah. So I'd be like, no, it makes sense to try to hit hard line drives at the middle. I mean, that's a good approach. Yeah. And if that's how you have to think about it, that you're trying to kill the pitch, that to me seems. I just think it's different when you're talking about literally fighting. In like a different sport, like in baseball, it's easy to be like, that's obviously figurative. That's obviously, you know, that's not literal. How he's there's
a very low likelihood of that actually happening too.
Right. It's more of like, okay, that's probably just his mindset to it. Where it's like fighting, it's like you could actually do this. And I think I remember the Deontay Wilder one was like close to, I think, a guy dying recently within the boxing realm, where I think a lot of people are like, hey, this just happened. You know, like. Yeah, I think it's different when you're talking about actually fighting someone as opposed to like I used to I remember reading a story because I was a big Ray Lewis fan growing up, and I remember him talking about like the night before a football game or something like that, he would think about how the opponent had like kidnapped his family and was like raping his like mother, and like that's how he
was coming.
Right, but as a young kid, and I was a big fan of Ray Lewis, like I tried that, and did that, and so I think that was also, you know, if we use this and anyone's listening to this, why maybe my reactions to not doing well were sometimes what you deemed over the top. Just think in my head, you know, that hitter that got a hit off me was killing my mother. I since realized that probably was not the right way to attack it. But I'm just saying, like, mindset wise, like, I think there's at least a difference of being like, that's just my mindset. That's what I have to tell myself. That's what I have to tell myself to get myself up. Kind of like, it sounds like that's kind of what Conor McGregor has to tell himself. I think where some people were a little upset, I don't know about upset, but just like that was a little over the line, was like, you don't need to vocalize it at all. And like, as much as you're doing it, it seems a little extreme. Yeah. And I think Dustin's point was mainly like, listen, man, we've signed up for this, and if we get in here and you kill me in a fight for whatever, you know, so be it. I've signed up for that. But like, just so we're clear, I'm not trying to kill you. I don't think anyone should be trying to kill anyone. And I think he made a point after the fight. He was like, ultimately, I can't stand the guy. I fucking hate him, but I hope he gets home safely to his family. Like, so I just think there was a little bit of contrasting, obviously, ways of going about it. And I just think some people have also brought up with the Conor McGregor thing of like, his shtick really only works when he's winning a lot. And now that he's losing a lot but keeping the same thing going, like, what?
I meant to maximize the window, and I minimized it. My bad. Anyway.
No, you're good. But anyways, I was just saying, like, his shtick that he does, that I think some people are like, it's starting to get old now that he keeps losing. So, I don't know. Yeah. I just found it to be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, that to me is just natural, like, hypocrisy, right? Is like, because every time the whole great thing about his shtick is he could lose. Right. You know, to go out there and talk all this shit and you know, predict outcomes and, you know, insult the other person's family, make this person hate you. And make you know, he's polarizing, right? Like half the fans hate him,
right? But
like, you know, he could do that and he could lose. He could get embarrassed. He could, you know, everybody, you know, whatever. I think you have to, like, it's almost necessary that you keep that same, you know, do the same things even if you're, you know, even when you're getting beat,
right?
Like I would probably respect it less if he. that's why like the nice guy thing, like when I saw him, acting really, kind to people, I was like, this is bullshit. No, yeah, no, like especially when he, yeah, but it's like especially because he turned around and lost, because it was like it almost felt like he knew that he was going to lose and he didn't want the like. That's what it felt like. I'm sure that's not what it was, but but yeah, I think if you have to take the good with the bad. If if you're going to get behind him for all the wins, it's like, yeah, you're going to have to watch it get kind of gross here at the end.
Yeah. Would you? I know you don't care that much about it, and it sounds like you didn't watch this fight. But the other thing is like, because you're really only supposed to, I guess, go 3 fights max in MMA. It's supposed to, best of 3 series essentially. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people like there needs to be a 4th one, because this one, like, it's not over. Like, that's not a way for it to conclude. Would you agree with that, or would you say no? Like, you lost the fight. Like, it's over.
I mean, there seems to be a lot going on in the fight world these days that, like, you wouldn't necessarily love to see or, like, think would make sense. But, people are still watching it, and so people are still doing it. So,
what do you mean by that?
I was just thinking of the celebrity, all the rational celebrity boxing matches, or
like
just
Jake
like
Paul and Logan Paul.
Yeah, or just like it's kind of it. So much of it seems to be who the people want to see get fucked up.
Right.
That I don't think Conor is going to be like out of that realm. Like, I think people are still going to want to see these two fight, especially like you said, this wasn't like a real conclusion, right. It's just, it sucks how it happened. I don't think either of them wanted it, but it doesn't feel over. I think it would make sense to run it back.
Like, how would you feel if you were in a fight with somebody and you obviously hated this person? What? And
they broke their leg.
Yeah, like, and that's how you won. Like, would you feel satisfied? Would you be like, yes, I won this fight? Or would you be like, well,
no,
I fucking for me too?
I hate injury so much.
Right.
I just like it just, it's like I'm the guy, like, if we're all like this because we're actual athletes. Fans will cheer sometimes when a player on the opposing team gets hurt, which is fucking terrible. I saw it happen. We were watching the Bucks game, and I forgot who went down, but like we're with some casual Bucks fans, and they're like, "Oh, he's hurt. It's like that's
right.
That's such bullshit. Like, how do I hate to see. I hate to see it when I'm playing. Like, I hate to see like a really good player on the other team go down, because you want to beat the other team at their best, so you can say that you beat them. Right. You don't want there to be these question marks of, well, what if so-and-so was there? What if so-and-so wasn't hurt? What if this hadn't happened? You want to beat them. Right. So, like, I would hate that.
That's why I feel that's so weird, is that, like, on 2 fronts. One, we both agree, like, I hate the fact that you're cheering someone's injury. I mean, it's an athlete. It's someone I think you should respect. I feel terrible for him. It sucks for the family. There's so many factors to it where I'm like, that sucks for them. I can't understand cheering for that. But the other side of it is like, and I also don't understand why you want to win against a lessened team. Like, I don't feel like that's kind of like the question of just a one-on-one fight when that happens. It's the same thing in team sports. Like, why would you want, like, if you're a Bucks fan, like, you should already be kind of unhappy that to get here you had to beat a Nets team that was down 2 of their star players. Like, I would think you'd want to play the team at the very best, and it's more satisfying then when that happens. So I don't understand that on both of those fronts.
Yeah, it's and we talked we talked about like people who just kind of have losers mindsets, or like a
lot of people,
and I don't I obviously, like, that's an insult, but like. There's something in that I just don't understand that is so prevalent, where people are just like, I just need to win. I don't care how I get it.
Right.
It reminds me. So what this reminds me of, just real quick, was a point in this book that I love, The Inner Game of Tennis, that was basically that like the whole point of competition is that, one side, one team, one player, whatever, brings out the best in the other side. So like, when someone isn't able to perform their best, like you miss out as the competitor, because they're not going to be able to challenge you and make you as good as you can be. I don't know why I was just thinking about that, but
I think that's a great point. I think that's a great. I mean, we don't need to get into the whole thing about talking about winners' mindsets versus losers' mindsets, but I just think it's weird to me, especially in this case, we talk about just wanting to win no matter what, and it's about something where you don't even win. Like, you're not part of the team. You're a fan of this team. It's not like you win the championship. So I don't want to do a whole thing on fans and how weird they are when it comes to their team sometimes.
But they are so strange.
It's not a lot of it makes sense to me. But that's all I got on Conor McGregor.